I'm going to savor this cigar. It was a present. I had met a Cuban in the week, and when I told him how much I liked this country and asked him how much the fare was to Cuba, because I like Cuban cigars, he rushed in the back and gave me this cigar. Have you seen the price of cigars nowadays? And I understand that this is another little luxury what they want to ban. Man, you know, I thought I had problems until I met this Cuban guy. And he was telling me some of his problems. I can't go into them, but they were deep, very, very deep. It was like I sort of knocked on his door randomly, and he he started opening up to me, telling me things which I don't think he's told. Well, I know he hasn't told to many people close to him. And what I did was I just listened. It was sad to see. There was like literally tears coming in this guy's eyes. Unfortunately, guys, I can't really tell you or relate the things what he was telling me, but they were very deep and they were very sad. And I knew it was important that I opened my ears to listen because, you know, mental health, especially with men who sort of self-delete themselves, is a major, major factor in our society at this moment in time, which doesn't get that much traction. I only used to smoke cigars when I've had a good day's trading and I earned some good money. And then I'd go and get myself a nice bottle of wine. I'd go to Jermaine Street, yeah, in the central London, west end of London. There's a cigar shop there. I'd buy myself one or maybe two nice, good cigars. And I'd sit down and reflect and pat myself on the back. It's kicking in. Pardon me. Beetroot juice, not wine. Anyway, I wanted to talk really about society. I'm going back to when I was younger, really, and it does relate to what's been happening over the weekend. So when I was at school, um, the area which I lived in, there was a very big Jewish community, very big, and everyone just got on with everyone. You know, when it hit to the age of 14, I wanted to be Jewish because I saw all my friends having nice scooters, nice clothes, because they were having their bar mitzvahs. Yeah. I think everyone wanted to be Jewish then, all the boys, whether you were white, Christian, Catholic, Asian, you know, it was like, yeah, they're having their bar mitzvahs. Yeah, we can do some of that. We got on really well. Around that time, there was a documentary you've probably heard of called The World at War. And it was a very compelling documentary. And one of the episodes was about the concentration camps. It was an ITV, when they showed that episode, out of respect for the victims, there were no adverts in between the breaks. I suppose it's because it was still quite close in people's memory, the significance of the Holocaust. I remember that. At that time, it was a bit of a shock to my generation, baby boomer generation, as to the extent of how bad and horrific it was. Fun enough, likewise, with the television series Roots. Yeah, a lot of people in my generation, British, were shocked about what actually happened, what gone, what it looked like, and how it manifested itself. So, and that's why I think The Rock Against Racism was very successful. And, with the Jews, I had a big, deep sympathy for them. A lot of my friends were Jewish, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. And there were some very nice Jewish girls. The English main population where I was growing up were English. Good football hooligans, that culture, subculture of punk rock, the mods, anything going, fashion, you know, ska music, all of it. It was all there. Everyone imbued in it. The Asians in our community, we used to envy them too because they used to grow these beards when by the age of 14, and we were like, whoa, I want to have a beard like this because show that I've grown, etc. The Asians, when I was at school, it was like you'd get quite a few of them. They were very funny in regards to every playtime in school when we have your teams and you say, oh, I have Ahmed, I have Samuel, I have Mohammed, I have Jack. Yeah. The Asians played really good football in the playground. Really good. Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And you always wanted them on your team, some of them. But they wouldn't play for the school football team. They wouldn't play for the school football team. Now, the Jews, the English, the Irish, the blacks play for the school football team. Asians, no. They wanted to play cricket or badminton. That was their forte. I don't know. Maybe the command came from the house. Yeah. But that's what they did and just accepted it. Everyone seemed to get on. Everyone. The Irish children, they were the butt of jokes, unfortunately, in those days. Every single joke going down was about the Irish. Yeah. That was because I think because of the troubles, etc. But they took it well, and they didn't feel demeaned to be belittled or anything like that. And no one was bullied for it. Yeah. Um, and then, of course, the black people in our community, um, we were looked on for our music or dancing. And yeah, you know, within our generation, I honestly believe that things like this, division, racism, I thought we were all gelling together, to be honest. I mean, when it comes to like Muslims, for example, we had the greatest Muslim in those days, the greatest Muslim. Everybody wanted to be like this Muslim. Everyone. He was baited everywhere he went. He was a hero. Yeah. He was a hero. Okay. I remember, was it the Beatles said, we're bigger than Jesus. Well, this chap, he was bigger than Muhammad, the prophet. He was bigger than Muhammad, the prophet. Of course, you've guessed his name, Muhammad Ali. What that guy did for unity within all the different various races, it's just incalculable. Britain, we loved him, totally loved him, even though he defeated our Henry. Yeah, we loved him. He was loved. Even Henry loved him. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. But what a crazy world we live in now, really. What a crazy world we live in. We have English people whose parents fought against the Nazis and the Germans. Yeah, because there's always most of the things and the films and that were about us beating the Germans. Even and the World Cup was still close in our minds actually in those days. So we'd go on. Not only did we beat them in World War One and Two, but we beat them in the football. That was such a big thing, such a big thing. And you know, people were proud of their contribution. Families who participated in, they say, Second World War. My dad was this, my dad was that, or granddad this, granddad and that. Yeah, we fought in Alamein, Tobruk, yeah, Arnhem, Normandy, escaped off the beaches of Dunkirk. Now look at the invasion is in reverse. Yeah. But all against fascism and the far right. But now look what we're doing. Look what it is at the moment. British people are being labeled far right. A slur on the memory of their fathers and forefathers. Dirty label. And who are they being labeled by the far right to? I mean, funny enough, it's softened a bit now. Since September the 13th, that far right label has softened slightly, okay, by certain establishments, even the media. Not completely. They were still trying to label far right with that atrocity what happened in Manchester recently. But here's, as they say in Germany, the Witz. Here's the joke. You see, our country have been arming the far right, yeah, and perpetuating a war, okay, in Ukraine, Russia, yeah. The Azov battalions were far right battalions who were persecuting, yeah, people in the Donetsk region, yeah, and we had subverted the elections there. We've been promoting far right, arming far right, giving all our tax money to the far right, and at the same time denigrating our own as being far right and hiding the fact that we have actually been supporting the far right. Why do you think everything's so expensive at this moment in time? Why? Yeah, food is getting expensive. Yeah, because Ukraine used to be called the breadbasket of Europe, and now it's in a mess. It's being destroyed. Food inflation is going on the up. Fuel, gas from Russia is going on the up. This war in the Ukraine, okay, is creating a lot of the inflation, what we're seeing. Boris Johnson scuppered the peace plans earlier on, and he prolonged and perpetuated this war where thousands of people have been killed. Donald Trump has been trying to stop it, and it's been lambasted. And it's like, oh, yeah, he said to do it in 24 hours. He hasn't done it, blah, 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 blah. But he's done more for peace, in all honesty, than all the other administrations. And shame on Johnson. You'd never spend a day on the front line perpetuating and prolonging that war. Who was surprised about what happened in Manchester? That was a coordinated attack deliberately done on a holy day. Yeah. Imagine for one moment that some Caucasian white guy went into a mosque and killed two of the congregation. And then the next day, Tommy Robinson or former EDL or whatever wants to go on marches up and down the country shouting Islamophobic chants. How do you think the police would react? Do you think you'd have PSOs there? Or would it be full riot gear and water cannon? Yeah? Do you think this is the weird world in which we're living at the moment? The anti-Semitism, yeah, yeah, especially on the left, is out of this world. I mean, no one really talks much about the attempted assassination of Trump. Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Yeah. But generally, sort of the violence, or what this is what I'm saying, the violence, the anti-Semitism by the left is out of control. And we know some of the main people here. Um, Diane Abbott got a bad rap. Jeremy Corbyn's got a bad rap, trying to control the anti-Semites within the Labour Party. The days of the Cable Street riots, yeah, are long gone. Long gone. People can't even, that juxtaposition between Cable Street and the Jews and fighting against Ian Mosley's lot, yeah, with the support of the left and the communists, yeah, that's gone. That is gone. Nowadays, Labour, left of Labour, they're anti-Semites. The Home Secretary begging, please don't go on that march. Don't go on that march. Like, I can't stop you. I can't stop you. Don't go on the march. That's nonsense. It's totally nonsense, really. Yeah. Clamp down on it. Clamp down. Now is the time to clamp down on it. It's no wonder that David Lammy was booed. It's no wonder. He picked up something and it was all scripted out because it weren't coming from the heart, was it? It wasn't really coming from the heart, what he had to say, because he didn't believe in it. And this stuff, even there's some really sick people out there, really sick people. They sort of wanting. They have no sympathy about what really happened at the mosque. It's like, oh yeah. But what about the genocide? What about the genocide? What about what's going on in Palestine? It's coming too much to our country. This is not our country. Yeah. It's not happening in our country, but it's happening now. I mean, if you're a scriptwriter, you couldn't make it up, could you? Some chap called Jihad's gone around and slaughtered and trying to slaughter Jewish people. Cigar's real strong. It's a proper Cuban cigar. You know, I made a mistake. I don't, chat GP because the whole thing, whenever anything happens, it's what about? What about? People got killed and murdered in Manchester. Oh, yeah, but what about the genocide in Palestine? Yeah. We need to be careful that there's no backlash about this on the certain community. I've done some figures with the chat GP, whatever it was. Yeah. And I asked, what is the body count? Yeah, because I've got figures a bit wrong. But I did ask, what is the body count in regards to murders, people being killed by Islamic extremists in the UK in the last 25 years? Actually, it wasn't as high as I thought it was, but it's high enough. It come out with 95 people had been killed by Islamic extremists. It didn't include, funny enough, the Southport murder in that, but 95 people. So I asked the Oracle the next question, given we're always told about the backlash and the far right, blah, blah, blah. I said, how many far right people have killed Asians in the last 25 years? Yeah. You see, the chat GP said 95 people had been murdered by Islamic extremists, including the 7/7 bombing, the Manchester Arena bombing, London Bridge, etc. Yeah. And Westminster Bridge. Yeah. 95, as I said, excluding the Ruda Cabana, actual Ruda Cabana. Yeah. Do you know how many people have been killed by the so-called far right? In fact, it didn't really get many. Yeah. So I had to change the question and said, how many Caucasian white people have killed Muslims in race hate crimes over the last 25 years? The answer was three. Some nutter ramming in some van, killing some poor old like Muslim guy. Yeah. And then they included the politician Joe Cox. Is it Joe Cox? Yeah. And some other guy, God rest his soul. Yeah. But percentage wise, body count wise, 95 people have been killed. I didn't talk about grooming gangs or anything like that. Yeah. I didn't go into that. Yeah. I think what I'm trying to say is that there is an issue. Yeah. The people who I used to play football with when I was at school, my Asian friends, I went for a reunion the other day. Cracking guys. Yeah. The Asians who I grew up with aren't the Asians who I'm seeing now. There seems to be a separation. Yeah. The left, who I used to see in the day, and the anti-Nazi League and Rock Against Racism. Yeah. The the miners. Yeah. The union people. Yeah. Oh, you can't touch me. I'm part of the union. You know that song? Yeah. They don't exist anymore. They don't exist. They've been taken over. They've been taken over by pseudo intellectuals. And then they push it all the time. Yeah, well, you're going to get a new Home Secretary. I'm sorry, she doesn't look fit for the role. To me, in my opinion, I don't think she's fit for the role. I don't think it's a good thing. I must be quaking in their boots. The sincerity of what she has to say to the Jewish community after everything what she's been doing about boycotting Israeli goods. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. We've got a new archbishop at the moment. Oh, surprise, surprise, it's the first woman. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go down that route. You don't even have to believe in God to be head of the Anglican Church anymore. Yeah, it's just a strange place. I was going to give this thing out as I enjoy my cigar. My hat's off to the guy who gave me this cigar because I'll tell you what, that guy had some real suffering. And so I thank him for this and pray for him and his family. Let's pray for all of us. Let's have some peace. Yeah, pray for all of us. Yeah, let's calm it down. These marches, what's been going on around regarding Palestine and stuff, that needs to calm down. I've done a chat GTP because I had an argument with somebody as to what was the reason for the 7th October massacre. What was the strategy behind it? What was Hamas trying to do? Yeah. There's a Ghanaian saying, when you have your hand in the tiger's mouth or the lion's mouth, don't hit it on the head with the other one. So what did Hamas expect? Or how did they expect Israel to respond to what they did on the 7th of October? Why would they do that? Why? I'll tell you why. My little chat GP. The strategy was to create bigger awareness of what's going on in Palestine, to garner worldwide opinion and focus on Palestine. So a lot of these people marching up and down the country, throughout the cities in the world, yeah, have just been pawns in Palestinian foreign policy, stoking up hatred in different countries and alarming populations. And I don't know why the police have been going along with it, facilitating it. I don't know. People say, oh, there's genocide going on in Palestine. Genocide. When you ask the direct question, if people had done that to British people, if I don't know, some foreigners came over, shooting, killing left, right, and centre, raping, um, you know, uh, innocent uh, women and children, yeah, what would we do? What would we do? Well, evidently nothing like Israel. Yeah, evidently nothing like Israel. But seriously though, what would be the response? if it was a like for like situation. Yeah. Of course, it's going to be robust response because they've got Israel is a democracy and it needs to keep its people on side. Yeah. All the Palestinians need to do is to free the hostages. Free the hostages. You know, the Hamas said it was a mistake and it went out of control and it wasn't their command, and they should have got those people who perpetrated it. Yeah. Released all the hostages, put those people on trial, maybe, I don't know, firing squad or something, and that's it. Instead, they're quite happy that over 50,000 of their own community get killed and slaughtered as long as it's generating mass publicity and they get the recognition what they want from idiot countries like us who have been supplanted, subverted by this person called Keir Starmer. Starmerism. Yeah. It's like Starsism. It's like Stasi. It's seriously, the way this country is going. My cigar's almost finished, and so I think my mini little service sermon's finished. I just speaking my mind, the flow. Look, why don't you do me a favor, yeah? Like and subscribe, yeah? Because I need some subscribers. Just do me a favor. It's not a hard thing to do. Just do the subscribe button. Make a comment if you like. If you disagree with what I say, fine, all well and good. Likewise, if you agree, put your comments in the comment section. I'm going to go now before I die in this cigar.